I have this theory. That's why I started this podcast. That was my drive to push me to start it. Was my theory of an ancient giant king buried in Pennsylvania, and the Amish are helping hide it without even knowing it. They might not even know they're helping hide it.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Midwest Mythos, and we are back. I hope you all enjoyed last week's banger with my boy Doc Brown. Guys, I'm glad to be back. That month hiatus, like I said last week, it was much needed. I'm sorry about that, but I'm back for you guys, and I'm so happy to see y'all again. And with me being back also means the Soul Squatch is back, guys. Go check out my friends over at the Soul Squatch. Guys, great company, great quality hats. You know, I do a lot of cryptid hunting, and this thing keeps my head nice and cool, and this big old mane of hair, I know you can't see it, contained. So guys, go check them out. And without further ado, this week, guys, I told you I'm having some great guests coming on after this hiatus. I've been linking them up. I've been scheduling them up. And this one reached out to me like y'all should if you want to be a guest on the show. And this week I'm introducing the Grim One. How you doing, brother?
Hey, brother. Thanks for having me, Riley. I really appreciate it.
Oh, brother, anytime, man. Thanks for reaching out to me.
Man, I've been looking forward to getting hold of you.
I'm glad you did. I know we talked a little bit pre-recording, and you got some awesome stuff lined up for us tonight. But before we get into that, how about you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Hey, I'm the Grim One. You can find us on Wisdom Synergy, man, and I'm all about hidden truth. You know, hidden human capabilities. I think we're capable of so much more, and just debunking the mainstream narrative, pretty much, and pointing out the things they don't show you in textbooks.
It sounds like we're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, right on. It does, doesn't it? Pretty cool.
Oh, so this, correct me if I'm wrong, this is your first time appearing on another show. Am I correct?
This is my very first time being a guest on the show, and I'm super excited. I'm like pumped about it, man. What better freaking show to be the first guest on than yours? Like, it's already magic.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, brother, and it's an honor that you want to come to me first. So, I mean, if you want to, let's just get right into it.
Check it out.
Some of the stuff that you showed me.
So like I brought up, I was saying about the power of believing in yourself. Okay. So I wanted to ask you, what was like your turning point that convinced you that, from what I gathered, you're a big believer in Sasquatch, right? Like Bigfoot.
Right.
So what was that turning point that made you like say, damn, I think he's real. Like, what was that made you go on the hunt then and give you that drive? You know what I mean?
So for me, it was like I grew up in I call it the golden age of cryptid, unknown history kind of television. So like when I was like 11 or 12, Finding Bigfoot came out. And before that, I was watching Monster Quest and stuff when I was younger. And Bigfoot always came up, and I was reading books and stuff, watching all these shows on it. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until I got older and started actually talking to people like face to face and them showing me their evidence and stuff like that, that was really got me like, all right, this thing's real. And then a few years later after that, I had my first encounter with one, and that was like wow, I really, really believe this thing now.
So you had an encounter yourself?
Yeah,
you gotta tell me.
I'll give you the short and sweet version of it.
Okay.
So me and a group of guys, Prometheus Lens, the CWOP Crypto Warfare Operations team, Harley Owens, Kevin from Where the Weird Ones Are.
Damn, sounds like some major shit going on.
Yeah, it was it was a big old hunt out at one of Harley's spots, and
that's dope.
A bunch of stuff happened. We had a bunch of like Class Bs, so whoops, calls, wood knocks, all that kind of stuff. But at one point in the night, we actually got to see them through some thermal imagers.
Wow.
And it was the most terrifying moment of my life.
I'm intrigued, man. Wicked.
And we got Doc Brown from Prometheus Lenses putting the documentary together
Man,
that from all the recording he did when we were out there. So
I'm so
the
proud of
Lord,
you, man. That's so cool.
thank you.
That's cool, man. Oh man, listen, Bigfoot has always been on my mind since I was a little kid. You know, what better like story in your head than some dude like it's like 7 or 8 feet, 9 foot tall, however tall he is, covered in hair and living out in the wild and being capable of doing some amazing things,
Yeah, exactly. Everybody always asks, "Oh, why do you like? Why are you so intrigued in this?" And it was always those things that you just listed right there.
They must not have an imagination.
I don't think a lot of people do anymore.
That's kind of sad.
It
That's my
really
opinion.
is.
It's my opinion, and I'm sorry, but I think we should encourage imagination from from when we're little all the way through life because you know it's hard to find little bits of happiness here and there and stuff, and it's never too late to have that happy childhood, no matter how old you are, to get it in, man, and be happy. It's
Right.
important. It's important.
It's very, 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 very
I'm
important.
glad you agree, man, because that's like one of the keys to life, man. It's like you're handed all these different keys throughout your life, and the older you get, you have these keys, as I like to call them. But man, you got a whole big key ring full of Snapple, man. You can go in any door you want. Like use your imagination, man. Like you know where I'm going with that. Like you could literally just, it gets heavy, dude.
Right.
Yeah. So can I break something down for you real quick?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
hear it.
All right. So check it out. So this power and belief. Okay. I just want to point this out real quick. And the best example I can think of to tell you is like this. So you have your town back before like America was established. Like, okay, you have a town. And then you have like these guys like William Penn and them or whatever getting together and writing down all these laws and or the uh declaration or whatever, the writing it all down, getting together, and then they sign it all and stuff, and then they start handing it around the city. And the people start to read these laws and stuff and say, "Oh man, you see, if you're out after midnight, you're going to get in trouble or something." They started to believe all these laws, and I think that's the power that made them laws real.
Right.
Because they didn't really exist before that, just because all these guys sat down, wrote them down, and talked. Excuse my language, and talked about them. But like, it's once they started handing them out and people read them and started to believe them, that builds that power. And so where I'm going with this is the same thing with Sasquatch. You know what I mean? You got enough curiosity and enough brains out there thinking like, "Yo, there's something to this." That's building that force too. And just like anything, like aliens or UFOs or like, that power of belief, man, I think is a really important thing to recognize. And you can call me crazy. It's cool, but I'm into it.
I agree 100%. And like how I look at it is, belief, faith, hand in hand, the same thing.
For sure.
And I look at things from a biblical lens 99.9% of the time.
I think we all kind of do.
Right. You can look in the scriptures, and one of the examples is Jesus saying, if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move the mountains. And I believe that every word that he says is true. So if we can move the mountains off that, what else can happen with belief?
Man, you just hit a home run. You just hit the home run right there, bro. With ease. You know what I mean? You just knocked that out of the park with ease, bro. Like no questions asked. You're dope. You're so cool. You're exactly right. Because it's when you look at all these ancient cathedrals and ancient sites, megalithic sites, and with 100 tons, blocks and stuff that we can't move today, they believed they could. You know what I mean? They knew they could, they believed they could, and they did.
Exactly.
We feel limited. We're programmed from birth. You know what I'm saying? Like we limit ourselves, and when we use that word can't, excuse my language again, but dude, when you say you can't, right out of the door, right out of the gate, you're screwed.
Right.
It's in your brain. It's a power. It's a force. Yeah.
It really is. Our mouths are like they are the most powerful weapon against others and ourselves. I don't care what people say. Oh, words don't hurt you. Words don't, words can hurt you really bad. but words can also heal you and do lots of things as
And
well. I
what's
mean,
the first thing in the Bible? The word of God. He
right.
said, and it was so like the power of word is a very, very, very powerful thing. Like
The
not to
words
bring up
are
no Nazi, but Hitler. I mean, look at the people, he had, following him. I feel like he was tipped off on something or other. I don't know what the whole story is there, but like he was trying to. Oh, so another thing I got into is like fire is an eraser. There's resets happening right now in front of our eyes that it took me a while to realize that it's still happening right in front of our faces. And I look at that as the same thing as what we were just talking about. Sorry to get a little
right.
bit off topic, but
Oh no, you're all good. I mean, you got to look at it as two sides of the coin. There's a belief in good, and then you can use the faith for good, and then you can use faith and belief for the negative. There's people that believe in the
absolutely.
bad, and there's people that believe in the good.
Yeah.
So it's
It's a
it's a two
powerful,
it's a two
powerful
sided
thing.
coin, man.
Totally is, man. I'm glad we see eye to eye on that. It's really cool because some people are like, man, I don't know what you're talking about, and it's like, it's hard to get, like, I'm not the best at explaining things, you know what I'm saying? But I'm doing the best I can in my own words and shit, just, to try to show people what I'm seeing. Cause like,
Mhm.
and once you know it and see it, you see it so much more every day and day, every day is more, every day is more. And you're walking around and it starts to be like disturbing of some of the stuff that we are just so blind to.
Yes, I agree
Okay,
110%.
good, man, because like it's disturbing.
It's become very hard for me and a lot of people in my lives to
Yeah,
be able to just go out, walk, and things be peaceful for the most part.
for a walk.
Yeah,
I
and
know,
just not
unbelievable.
notice everything else going on around.
Hmm.
It's wild, but at least there's. I try not to be pessimistic, and I do see a lot of good when I go out as well.
There is, yes, indeedy. I'm one of them. You're one of them. Hey, we got to know we out there yet. We out there, bro. Yo, what's up? Holler at your boys and yo, beat. Hey, we're out here doing it, man, and we're like representing on like on a public. Like, nope, it's not. We're not hiding nothing from nobody.
Exactly.
I like it like that. Because I'm a regular dude, man, but I got questions and I think they need asked and I think they need shared. And I think people need to realize, man, like, cause like I said, once you see it and know it, you don't unsee it and unknow it. And, if we can get access to abilities and keys, as I call them, to help our lives be better, who, like, who wouldn't want that?
Exactly.
Especially like, dude, when you say magic keys, like, dude, they're not even real. Like, like I want them. I'm saying I want magic keys, man. I want some. How do I get some? Like, that sounds cool. You dig it? Magic, man. Who don't love magic? Get the hell out of here. You're tripping.
So with these on the topic of belief, you said you got quite a few local folklore and history
Oh boy, do I.
stuff
Do I.
to bring to the table today.
Do I. I got a couple little treats for you, okay? So I live in Pennsylvania and I ain't gonna lie, I just live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where there's a lot of Amish cornfields and just straight up a whole lot of nada enchilada. You know what I mean? There's like you're pretty much your own entertainment, man. Like, yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with Pennsylvania at all, but it's a cool place, man. I really love it. And Pennsylvania is kind of a magic for me a little bit, but I think it makes America really important for some reason. Like we're hiding something like an ancient king that the Amish are helping hide underground, right under our feet, man. I mean it. I knew you would love
Yeah.
that. But dude, I'm telling you, man, I have this theory. That's why I started this podcast. That was my drive to push me to start it. Was my theory of an ancient giant king buried in Pennsylvania, and the Amish are helping hide it without even knowing it. They might not even know they're helping hide it.
L- let's hear about that real quick. I want to hear about that because
It
I got a thing with the Amish. If I'm
this is a
being honest.
solid theory, bro. Okay, so hear me out. What better way to hide something than in plain sight? Okay, because like I said, I live around a lot of Amish and stuff. It's like not unusual at all to for us to see their gatherings at the barns and you know horse and buggies every day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not unusual at all. Um, but nobody pays them no mind. Nobody gives a what they're doing. You know? Now, if me and my biker friends get together and we meet on our motorcycles every week or every month or something somewhere and conjugate, they're gonna call us like a militia or call us some kind of club or some kind of gang or something or other. You know what I mean? So the Amish kind of have a loophole there. And when you hand things down and learn things on a personal level, that sticks. That's how it stays through time. You know, like the Indians handing down stories around the campfire on personal levels. That's why the Amish are so good at building barns and stuff because they're learning from their brothers, their dads, their uncles, their sisters. You know what I mean? They're on personal levels and they get together weekly, you know, in person, not online. You feel me?
But yeah,
So there's a that's important when you're learning on that personal level. So then when them elders are handing down knowledge to the next generation or whatever, I was wondering I started wondering what keeps these kids that want to stay Amish, like when they go through Rumspringa or whatever, like do they give them money or knowledge or like what do they tell these kids to want to stay Amish? You know what I mean? Like what makes them want to just stay? So I started thinking, I was like, man, there's got to be something. You know what I mean? But I my mind went a little crazy. But to my king theory, you'd want to stay in the Amish community if you know you're doing something that's totally wicked cool. That nobody knows about, super secret. Think about it.
yeah.
And it might not be like a king. What tipped me off about the king thing was the Sumerian king list, where kings ruled for thousands of years at a clip, and really interesting stuff. And why wouldn't there be a king still ruling today? You know what I mean? There through all through time, there's always been some kind of you know king, or some sort. But I think it's AI now. Like my theory kind of went towards AI being buried underground, but that could still be the king. You feel me? Controlling, what's kind of happening around the world to say.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past it. I mean, as far as AI being control, like
Hmm. Right.
it's
You use AI,
I
right?
yeah, I use it for
We all do. I mean,
show art because I
yeah, for sure. But
that
anyway,
but yeah.
the more you use it, have you noticed like, anything about even yourself or the way you think at all?
Honestly, I no, just because I don't use it that much.
Okay. Well, see, I
I don't
have,
sit there and have conversations with it. I know a lot of people that do sit there and have conversations
yeah.
with it, but I have a belief in like what AI is, and
What's your
I
belief? Can I ask you what your belief is? Like
yeah,
on
I
it?
think it,
Because I'm
I
curious.
think yeah, I think it's some like demonic spirits and stuff like that, like some Black Mirror type stuff. As far as like
I got you.
not the show, but the actual like a Black Mirror,
Yeah, yeah.
and these
Do you
entities
think
are coming.
do you think we're in the little season?
No,
Okay. Because like there is a lot of evidence pointing to it, like and AI would be like kind of part of that of like, mark of the beast kind of thing or
Y-
um
yeah. I mean, I haven't looked too much into like the little season thing,
a
but
really interesting topic, man. Uh it gets deep though, it gets a little bit heavy and I understand, you know, faith and stuff is important to people and it is a touchy subject. So I would tread lightly,
yeah, and I mean, like my whole thing behind it is like I ride really, really heavy on the
I did some
no.
research on you, so yeah, I dig that
It,
stuff though. Yeah.
nobody knows the date, nobody knows the time,
Right.
the hour of
Yeah.
like when all this stuff's gonna happen. So I'm just, I have so much that goes through my mind. I only
Yep.
have so much bandwidth, so I just try to keep on the important. Like, not that that can be important to people, but like me, I'm just like, from what I have read and stuff or listened to, I'm just like, all right, I have
Yeah,
other things I'd rather focus on and put
there you
my
go.
attention on because there's only so much time in the day.
You're absolutely
So that
right.
and there's so many people that are good researchers and have the info and stuff out on that kind of stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hop on that train, you know. I
I
got a
get
train I
into it,
gotta
man.
conduct.
When they're showing me stuff and proof and things like that, I'm like, and I use my own mind too, man, because like you got to think for yourself, dude. You got to really look at stuff and say logically to yourself. You know, when you see an ancient structure up on a mountain so freaking high up that you can't breathe, you got to think logically, like how they do it. You know,
Oh yeah.
logically thinking like there ain't no way in hell we did it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy,
Yeah.
man. But we were
Oh,
fed a story and we will accept it, man. That's what's gnarly to me is like, wow, dude, I can't believe that I believed half I was taught when I look
right.
at it in a logically point of way of looking at it. Like when you see precision is the key word, man, in my whole thing. It's the red flag, man. It's and precision is in everything we do, touch, and use every single day. Okay. Because, okay, you can say man built or created all this stuff, but this is the thing. AI has been here for thousands of years. Okay. And I believe was the king ruling for all these tens of thousands of years because humans don't live that long. You know what I mean? But there was some
Right.
sort of, and so I started digging into this stuff and like, them big giant granite sarcophaguses like under the Sphinx and the pyramids and other places like the Vatican and shit like that. They have these big giant granite sarcophaguses underground. They don't even know how they got them in there,
Right.
how they got. I believe, this is my opinion, that them granite boxes were like housing cases for the AI tech of the old world, like, or what fed this giant king, this AI entity down inside of Earth that's like running the show. You know what I mean? Kind of a way to say. Does it make sense though? Because like I'm trying to stay focused here for you and like, not be all over the place. But yeah,
It does make sense. You know, I agree with what you said a few minutes ago. Like the stuff that we've been fed about history and stuff, I don't believe any of it, you know. And
yeah,
I do think there was these giants. I do think there's these entities and
absolutely.
stuff. And I think I I give everything that I hear. I'm not a person that's gonna say I believe it 100% at the beginning, but I give it thought, you know.
You're
And
open to, you can't
e-
be, you got to be open to anything to make it be something.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm not. Yeah, it's like it's definitely. I
That's
can
what we
see
do here at
pieces.
Wisdom Synergy. At Wisdom Synergy, my main goal is to get people to think, like, whoa, wait a second. You know what I mean? Like, that's all my main goal is to get people to open their mind up and reanalyze a couple things and just ask a couple questions that, like, just don't seem right, that don't add up.
Exactly, and like that for me, that's why it's so important with this show that I get people's personal stories out there, that I
And
get local folklore and stuff like that. Because like the stuff that you're gonna get into here, uh 99% of the people listening
yeah.
probably would go their whole entire lives never hearing these things.
Hmm.
And
Right.
who knows, they could have something in their area that's very similar, and then we can start putting the puzzle pieces together.
Exactly. That's my goal at Wisdom Synergy is to build a collective knowledge because that's a force. When you have people sharing their stories and a collective knowledge and you see patterns and you know what I mean, you'll start to see like what's really going on behind the paint or behind the curtain or whatever the hell you want to say. You feel me?
I feel you.
Yeah, dude, because like that collective knowledge is a force. What's the one thing that they can't fuck with is people in numbers, man. When you got people in numbers, man, you get a couple million people together on the same page, man, they can run the world with
Right.
ease. With ease. If they're all on the same
And
page,
that
how do you think sports teams win games? Is power of believing in yourself, man. They hype that shit up and they build that force that all believe that we can win this game tonight. We're going to win this game tonight. And you know what I mean? That's the magic. I'm telling you that. And people were like, that's too easy. That's too good to be true. No, it's real.
I agree. Until you get to the professional level, then it's, whatever's gonna pay out most on DraftKings.
Yeah,
But you know,
man.
but
I got 5 on it. I got 5 on it. Oh, snap. What's up now? Oh, yeah. I love it. Sorry.
you're all good, man.
Cool. Appreciate you.
No problem.
I love it. But yeah, it really gets me fired up and it gets my brain going. So I started digging into where I'm from here in Pennsylvania about some creatures and stuff. And I wanted to know if you ever heard about any of these some of these cool legends and myths I came across, man. So I want to run a couple by you.
All right, let's get it.
Can you dig it? All right. So there's this I don't know if you ever heard of Chickies Rock by the Susquehanna River here in Pennsylvania. There's this myth and allure of like this 4-foot hairy like ape type guy. So he's said to be 4 foot and lives around Chickies Rock along the Susquehanna River. And he steals apples and throws them and lurks in trees. Native lore like Susquehannocks and like the tribes and stuff would speak about this little hairy ape like man. So it's like a cryptid lore, combined with a little bit of nonsense. So I was wondering if you ever heard of anything like that and what are your thoughts on that?
So I haven't heard of that particular one, but to me, just from like the little bit of behaviors and stuff that you're talking about, hiding up in the trees
Uh-huh.
and kind of being like
Like
tricksters.
throwing apples and stuff, like throwing apples, like
It,
was he bored?
yeah, well, it almost makes me think of like a juvenile Sasquatch, but
Mhm.
at the same time, I have heard stories out of Ohio, next state over, of these little hairy dudes as well,
Okay.
and kind of similar behaviors and stuff like that. And if you go to the other side of the planet and over in the Philippines, I forgot which island it is, but you got the like orang pandek and stuff like that, which is this 4 foot tall, 4 or 5 foot tall, like hairy little person. And
Cool.
we see them they're all over the world.
Okay. Like, have you ever heard of these ones in Hawaii? I guess that were native in Hawaii. I think they might have been smaller than 4 foot, like smaller than that. And they built these walls and stuff, these stone walls. I wish I could remember what they were called, but there was something I came across, and like Hawaii had these little stone figurines that they would hide all around the island, but it was tribute to these little dudes that built this wall supposedly a long time ago, like this myth or something. It was a really cool story too, man.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm looking up the name
Cool.
of them. The Uha Huma Pohuka,
You did better
or
than I would, man.
or they call them
Better
the
than I would.
Pohaku for short.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, you got it. And they're cute, right?
I ain't seen an image of one, but
But I think they would like hide these little figurines around the island, and like where they were known to be. Like, so say in like a garden or something somewhere, they would hide one of these little, figurines of, just because the myth and legend was that heavy there. I think that they keep it alive still to today, which is really gnarly. And like that's like also learned on a personal level, because if you're interested where you're from and like, that the original organic stuff of where you're from and you look into it, it's a fun story. It's fun to think about and it's fun and it gives it something worth, like feeling good about or being like something that's just something that nobody else has. You know what I mean?
right. Well, you look at Point Pleasant. They do like the Mothman Festival and
Yes,
all that
man.
kind of
Yo, right.
stuff.
Did you ever go?
No, it's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go one of these years. Right now I got a little kid. I got a baby. Even she's 1 now, but
Congratulations, man.
thank you.
Kids are
But
so cool.
they are, but
Kids are
when they're that
bombing.
little, it makes it hard to travel.
It makes it really hard to travel. It makes it hard to even wipe your own ass sometimes. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Hey, being
Yeah,
a dad though is magic, right?
It is a beautiful thing, that is
Good for
for
you.
sure.
Good for you. I'm happy for you. That's so cool.
It teaches patience and
I got
lots
3
of
kids, man. Uh-huh. I
congratulations.
got a 16-year-old
Oh,
daughter, a 10-year-old son, and a 3-year-old daughter.
oh, you got all the
Oh,
fun ages.
man. Man.
You're experiencing all the fun at once.
Man, my kids are so cool, man. It's trippy, man. They're so smart. I'm just so proud of them guys. Mm,
That's good.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and
It's
they
good to have
grow
kids,
up
everybody.
fast, man. They grow up fast. But
Yes.
they were part of my journey of opening up my mind too, man, because they asked them really cool questions that I had to stop and be like, "Wait a minute, what did you just say?" Like, that opened up the whole thing. It was like, "Dude, you're on to something." They're looking at me like I'm nuts, and I'm like, "No, you're totally on to something, man." They're like, "I don't know, Dad, you're crazy." It's like, "Well, nope, I'm digging in," you know. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
they support me and stuff, and I just love the hell out of them kids, man. They're amazing.
that that's awesome. They really are. I'm
They
excited to
teach
see
you a
where it
lot
goes.
too. They will teach you so much, man.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love you kids, man. You kids are rules. You kids are awesome. Proud of you. So proud.
But then after this ape thing, you mentioned something real quick that intrigued me because there's a famous one not too far away from me, but you mentioned a statue.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Let's get into this real quick.
Okay, so check us out. There's let's see here. It's actually in a Lancaster cemetery, and I'm from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is like Amish country, okay? And there's a statue of Augusta Harriet Bittner. So she died in 1906. She was 21 years old. So the legend turns into like a walking statue at nighttime. And stories say her eyes might light up or glow, and she weeps for her child, and that's not buried with her. So she's like moving around the cemetery. Apparently, is the story, and it's kind of freaky when you think about it.
So it just gets up and moves. Is there like any association with like curses or anything with it, or is it just one of those moving ones?
I was looking into it a little bit more because it intrigued me a little bit, and so it kind of just fit where I explore the belief system and the tangible history. You know what I mean? And it's just, could you imagine? Okay, the mother of my daughter, my youngest daughter, she lives across from the cemetery, so I'm over there a lot, and I'm always looking across the street at the cemetery, and I'm thinking, it's something weird. It's like something about cemeteries and stuff that just throws me off a little bit. And what does that is like, where's everybody go? Where's everybody? Where is everybody? Because you never see a cemetery getting rebuilt any bigger, or you never see a new one opening up. At least I never have. I never see any kind of like, you never see them breaking down a fence to make the cemetery bigger. You never see nothing like. So I started looking into all that stuff, and necropolises and catacombs. So bones hold like so, or do something about resonating energy or something or other. They do something to that effect. And if I know this is a little bit deep, if they imagine the statue just like moving around the cemetery where it wants to go, and nobody knows why. You think they would dig into that and research it and find out what's going on there? You know what I mean? Because if it was real, why wouldn't they like? Why wouldn't you want to dig into there and say, "All right, we're going to set up camp here for however long it takes, and we're going to see this thing move." You know what I mean, or whatever. We're going to catch it. Like same with Sasquatch. We're going to catch it. We're going to hunt. We're going to go out. We're going to camp out. We're going to get some footage, and we're going to get this turkey busted on film. You know what I mean? Like, and that's it. It's all there is to it. We believe it, and we're going to do it. You would
Right.
do it, right?
Most likely, yeah.
So,
With that,
go ahead.
oh, go. You're all good.
What was the statue story that you had? Was it moving?
Well, so there's a statue in a cemetery in Chicago, at Graceland Cemetery, and there's two of them. But the
You
one
mean
I'm thinking
Elvis?
is that
Graceland?
Is that where he's
That's
at?
Tennessee. I thought he was down in Tennessee. But anyway, Graceland is
That might be that one, but they got one in Chicago called Graceland as well. All right,
dope.
yeah, you are right. The Elvis one I think is down in Tennessee
Cool.
because I scrolled down a little bit farther.
I'm a rock and roll guy, man. So it's like, hey, but yeah, keep going.
But the one I'm thinking of is the Eternal Silence statue, and it is they
Oh,
say if you look into it and stare into its eyes, that people say you can foresee your like own death and stuff like that.
wow.
But then there's another one. I
Damn.
don't remember. I don't know if
That's
it's an
kind of
Indian.
scary. I don't know, man. Like, mm-mm.
I wouldn't mess with that. But there's one in Indy as well where it's like this giant statue of this lady. I think it's supposed to be a depiction of Mary,
Okay.
and it moves, and if you like touch it, you supposedly can have like miscarriages or just even death
Wow. So
with you.
so people ain't messing with it.
Right. And I remember seeing that one on one like Mysteries at the Museum or something like that. They were talking about it. But if you look up the Eternal Silence statue, I mean, it looks like a reaper. Like it is a shadow face,
I'm
and
into the Reaper, man.
all you can see is a nose.
See my Grim
So,
Reaper shirt?
oh,
Wicked, right?
not
He's surfing, dude. He's surfing, man.
surfing with the rising sun in the back.
Ow! You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Hey, man, you're so cool, man. I appreciate how laid back you are because I'm having fun. But
Oh, thank you, man.
these stories though are intriguing because when they're handed down on a personal level and they lasted this long, like what you know what's really going on there, you know? And it's like when you say something down the line and it gets felt by the end of the line, you know, when you whisper to somebody and they do it, and then you know, but imagine over the difference is learned on that personal level though. So that's going to stick. You're not just going to whisper something that wasn't, you feel me? Like when your grandparents were telling you the same story around that fire until you were 18 or however old you were, and then your parents were still doing it to your kids, you know, that's personal level stuff, man. And that's how, you know, I think our education system should work is learn on a personal level, man. Because like
Well, the way it's going now, man, it ain't good.
I'm trying to start a revolution, bro. You in? You know, because like I'm trying to get parents together, man. Open up and think, man, what the kids are being taught because, whoo-wee, man, it is something else.
Right.
We need
It,
10 million parents together now. You know what I mean? Like, let's start the revolution. Man, it's out of control, bro.
well, there's a big uptaking in like homeschooling and stuff like that. I mean, there's more homeschool right now than there's ever been.
Dude, if I could do everything from home, I would. I mean,
Yeah.
if I didn't have to go to school, I wouldn't. Shit. I'd be home. I'd be home. You don't even know what I'd be doing when I was supposed to be in school. I didn't even go to school when I was supposed to, so that's the thing.
See, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to be one of those people that did homeschool. I needed to
Interaction
go to
and
school.
yeah.
Yeah.
I went to entertain, man. I was there like, man, I was there to destroy stuff. I'm just kidding, dude. But I did.
Uh,
I did my fair share of destroying. You can ask anybody that knows me; they'll say, "Yep, that sounds about right."
See, I just went
You a good kid, right?
did
You
did
look
my
like a
work.
good kid.
I wouldn't even say that. I was just there because I had nothing else to do. So I was like, I'm one of those people. I'm like, if I'm already doing something, I might as well do it to the best extent I can. You know,
So
it's
that's crazy. That's best, man. That's the best way to do it. So when you started podcasting and you wanted to be like boots on the ground, you know, because like I have this whole theory about Lancaster City where I live about all these underground tunnels and stuff. How did you get in? Like like? How do you get in touch with people? Excuse me, that are like minded or you know that are going to listen to your crazy ideas, you know, or you know not crazy ideas, but like with evidence to back it up. You know what I mean? Like how do you get people's attention to talk about these things?
so for me, there's been a lot of grace in my situation as far as like God just lining up
Hmm.
people in my life. So for me, I would say like just reach out to people because 99% of the I'll say 90% of the time, if you just reach out to somebody, chances are they'll get back to you and talk. But like for me, I've always been one of those people I can walk into a room with 100 people I don't know, and I
Yeah.
walk out with 95 best friends.
I feel your
it,
vibe. I dig it. Yeah, I feel it.
it it's just one of those things. So like when it came time to go boots on ground and stuff, I'd already just met so many people that
Okay.
would want to. Most of them I didn't even know were into the stuff,
Right on.
but
And you
I
won't
just
usually, you really typically people don't share a whole lot of that. Like, I got this, crazy thought or idea or theory or conspiracy or whatever, but people really think about that, man. Like,
right.
and
And
when
for
you
me,
dig up the evidence, it changes things.
it was a big awakening when I started my show because your first batch of people that are going to listen to it are family and friends.
Right on.
And
Yeah. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, just hang in there.
well, in my case, it was, oh, I didn't know you were into this stuff. Hey, this is what happened to me. Or, hey, did you know about this? And it just opens a lot of doors,
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I didn't know there was a Sasquatch hotspot an hour away from my house,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it used to be 10 minutes from where I used to live.
So when you found that out, you were like, yo, I got to get out there.
Right. And so I mentioned something to my buddy that owned the property and he was like, "You believe in that stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I do too." And I was like, "Cool." He's
Right.
like, "You want to go hunting for him?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So
That's the
so it
magic, man. That's magic.
and that's why it's so important to like with this show and
Yeah,
all the other shows, it's so important just to talk to people,
it is.
get their stories and stuff. Like I would have never known about the two things you've talked about so far. And if I remember, you got a couple more, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. But I would have never known about those unless I, happenstance drove through the area or something like that where
Yeah.
somebody else came on the show and talked about it. But no, you're here talking about it, and I'm learning
So
about it.
there's a couple more here from Pennsylvania that I want to tell you about that involve like the Dutch and stuff, the Amish and stuff like that. So we have a lot of covered bridges here in Pennsylvania. And, the architecture involved there is a little bit trippy because it's built a certain way and they're strong. And so I started digging into that, and we have a Wrightsville Bridge that goes over the Susquehanna River, and it's a mile long. And at one point, they had a mile-long covered bridge. It was, like, the longest one in the world, like, or America or something like that. And it's impressive to think, because like, there's a modern bridge there now, but to think there was a covered bridge there is trippy. So, there's some ancient, myths or whatever of these covered bridges being haunted. And I remember being a kid going to like, one of these bridges and, parking the car, turning the car off, turning the lights off, putting the keys up on the hood, man. And, and you were supposed to see this chick like hanging from the bridge, like dead and shit or whatever. And it was like super scary, because like, I think it's like the power of your brain, man. It gets in there and you start to think like, whoa, what if this is real? Like even that slight shred of belief, you know what I mean? Like, well, it can bug you out, man. And
Right.
so I remember being like 16 with my buddies and a couple girls or whatever, and like parking in this bridge and being all scared and stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like hyping it all up. Of course, like somebody like seen something or was bugged out, and we're like, oh, well, we're out of here, quick go and like scared and stuff and laughing and whatever, carrying on. But like, there just seems like there's something more behind it. So I started digging in, and the stories of these ones that it's this one covered bridge in, uh, let's see, Hunsicle. It's in Pinetown, Pennsylvania. Okay, so that's the most I can pronounce. It's said to have a haunting of an Amish girl drowned. She drowned, and so her ghost appears if you park and you turn off the car, you turn off the lights, pull the keys out, you put them on the roof. Same exact story as the ones I was at when I was a kid, and they say like handprints will appear on your car, or you'll see like some kind of ghostly figure, going around your car. And, like the one I said about you're supposed to see the woman hanging there from the covered bridge and stuff, it's just really spooky because it's kind of believable because of the Amish built like they had their hand in building all these covered bridges and stuff.
Right.
And it gets I don't know if you believe in ghosts or not. I mean, but
Oh,
it,
I do.
you do? It's a trippy subject, man. Like, I don't know if I believe is like in ghost is like a ghost, but like spirits and things like that or energy. Yeah. Like there's definitely, but I don't know about like a ghostly, like, ooh, like, or a stereotype like of a ghost or something like like how the movies are with like, you know, what a ghost looks like, you know.
Right.
It's kinda like,
W-
well, and there's not really any evidence to back it up with the ghost thing, like, if people were seeing ghosts, they would be flipping out to prove, like, "I know what I saw," and, like, you know what I mean, blah, 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 like, you would have people bugging. I don't really see enough proof of the ghost thing, you know?
See, with me with Ghost, I've always been a believer, but as I gotten older and stuff, and when I became a believer in Christ and the Bible, one thing that gets
Right.
mentioned, one thing that gets mentioned a lot that people overlook is familiar spirits.
Mhm.
And it warns us not to speak to them. It warns us not to listen to them, be deceived by them numerous times, but people don't think about that. They're just like, oh, this is a something that happened at the time of old. But they're very active nowadays and stuff like that. So like for me, when people see these apparitions of what looks like a normal person, or they hear or see a loved one and they're telling them that, for me it's these familiar spirits, and
Mhm.
they hit every check mark as far as, because their job is to follow your family through history, learn every single thing about each and every one of you,
Okay.
you know
Okay.
and they hold that information. They're like
The keepers of
they're 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 like spiritual hard drives meant for deception. And
wicked, man, that's heavy.
yeah, it's one of the I always try to, whenever there's an opportunity to talk about it, I try to talk about it just to like let people be known,
Mhm.
because uh even if people believe it or not, it gives me peace making people aware. So like if you're like, oh, my dad was talking to me and told me this and that, but he's been passed away, like,
Mhm.
mm, but, oh, they remember that conversation that we had on the boat, that we were the only 2 people out there and nobody, but, it's these spirits' job to remember these things
Okay.
and stuff like
Okay.
that. So for me, that's always been, at least for the last 5 years, my evidence of, like, ghosts and stuff, and, demons
Okay.
and all that kind of stuff.
All right, all right. It's kind of like, I'll put it like this. Like when I am talking about something or whatever to somebody that I'm passionate about or believe in, I get goosebumps or my hair stands up. And like that's like something's happening there, And when I notice it and when it happens, I pay attention to what is going on at that time. And more times like almost every single time it's something I'm like really passionate about or something I feel and I believe is true. And my hair will stand up and I get these chills, man. I just think there's something behind that. It's like what you're saying is like, yes, it's just somebody's trying to tell you like, yo, you know what I mean? Like you don't just get chills and for nothing. I don't think you don't get that amazing, crazy feeling for no reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kinda like a deja vu thing too sometimes. They say, like, deja vu is, like, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, uh, is what I, understand from it, or gathered,
Right. I see, I don't know too much about, like, I personally have never experienced deja vu either.
Really?
Yeah.
Trippy. Oh, no way.
I must be an
Wow.
I must be an NPC or something.
You're a freaking hybrid or something, bro.
Who knows?
Good looking hybrid, bro. What's up? Hey, ladies! Or no, you got a baby and shit. My bad. Uh-oh.
Uh, I'm married.
Good for you, man. I'm happy for you. So cool.
Thank you.
Living life, man, you know, and look at you go, man. You got your podcast, you're young, you're doing it. It's so cool. It gives other people hope and faith and you know, and the main thing is people believe in yourself, man, because you can. You can.
Right.
You absolutely can. You can do so much more than what you even imagine. And like I think about this. If I wanted to be a moving statue when I'm dead and gone, I'm moving it. I'm freaking people out. If I wanna be a Sasquatch when I come back, bro, I believe it. It'll be so. You feel me? Like if I want to come back and I won't even go there. Like, you feel me?
Well,
Like if I believe it, oh, it's on like Donkey Kong, bro. Hmm.
well, brother, if you got one more from your list, we're coming up on an hour.
Yeah, man.
Uh, well, if you got one more, you want to pick a
Okay.
favorite over something
I
from
got.
there?
So there's this one that I'm familiar with as a kid, and it's called the Ironville's Headless Horseman. Okay. So you're going down Ironville Pike, and there's this headless horseman rider. Um, but the story goes to like, wait, I might have the story mixed up with another one. Let me make sure it's the right one because there was another one too where this lady was waiting for her husband to get back from war, and there was like this head up in the window. And I like I could be wrong, but I could be crossing the two stories. But like the headless horseman, but this lady kept this window, a head up in a window, and waiting for her husband to come home or something or other. And like there was some kind of crazy story about it. I was like, and there's also a shoe house here in Pennsylvania too. They lived in the shoe, man. Crazy.
What?
Yeah, there's a shoe house. It's made. It's like it's just bogus. It's a tourist thing. You know what I mean? But it's a legit
Yeah,
house that's a shoe, bro. You can go
that's
inside and live.
funny.
You can live in it. It's a boot. It's a boot. A big boot. Big ass boot. Big boot, bro. Going down Route 30. Look to your left. You see a big old boot. It's a house. It's cool, man. But this headless
No,
horseman, dude, people swear they see this headless horseman all the time going down this road. And like I said, when you have enough people seeing the same thing and describing the same thing, man, it makes you wonder what's up.
there's got to be some aspect of truth behind it.
Right. I mean, stories don't just come from nowhere. They actually got to come from something,
Right.
you know.
Even the greatest fiction has pieces of truth in it.
Is it really fiction?
It's
What
you're
better way
right.
to hide stuff in people's what better way to hide stuff right in front of people's faces? Because it's always right in front of our face. I swear to you, I promise you this. It's always right in front of your face, but where better than to like in a kids section or a make believe section where adults don't use their imagination, but we should be. You know, it tips us off. It enlightens us. It lifts us up. It gives our brain something to do. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Well,
Yo,
brother,
it's deep, man. I love you for having me. Thank you so much.
yeah, thanks for coming on, brother. So before we get out of here, well, first off, I'm gonna have you back on here again in the future.
I
I
hope
know
so.
we can talk a lot more. Unfortunately, everybody listening, I got the real early shift at work this week, so I gotta go to bed here soon.
Boo.
But before we get out of here, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Oh, you can find me on any podcasting platform like your Spotify, iHeartRadio, and stuff, and on YouTube. I'm figuring out how to make some videos and stuff like that. I'm learning as I go, you know. But any support would be much appreciated. It's Wisdom Synergy. It's got a bright pink double-headed eagle with a bright green shield. You can't miss it. You know, it's but I'm on like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere.
I'll get all the links from you,
Yeah,
and they'll be down in the description below.
you're the
Well,
best.
brother, thank you for coming on.
It's a
I had a
pleasure.
lot of fun this evening. So I'm sorry we can't go longer because I know we could go a lot longer, but
Don't be sorry. Hey, I would love to come back again though, for sure. It's a lot of fun and you're a cool dude. And thank you so much. I'm greatly appreciated for you having me.
no problem, brother. Thank you for coming on. Now, everybody, if you or anybody you know would like to be a guest on the show, hit me up at Midwest Mythos Podcast at allo.com, or you can DM me on Instagram, or you can hit the old faithful,
My
hit the
man.
link tree, and fill out the report and encounter form. That just sends a message directly to my email if you can't remember the full email. And guys, God bless each and every one of y'all. And I'll
Yep.
catch y'all next week. And hopefully I got some good stories to tell you about then, because I'm gonna be having some fun here the next couple weeks, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. But big fish out.
Peace, guys. Love you.